For the LGBT pride movement, there's not a flag, but many flags. Each of these flags is set to represent pride movements for each of the many sexual orientations and gender identities. Those who identify as one of these, or even just want to support, may have a car or laptop sticker with that flag or hang the flag in their home. But is there a reason why each flag looks the way it does? Are the colors and stripes supposed to represent something specific? That's what we're going to learn about in today's video, Pride Flags Explained. But first, I want to welcome any newcomers to my channel. Here at the Autistic Advocate, issues affecting the LGBTQ community are just one of the things I post video essays about. To see what else I have to offer, you're going to have to check out my content on my channel page. If it looks like what you want from a YouTube channel, all you have to do is click subscribe. But don't forget to tap on the bell if you want notifications. We're going to start out with the best known one of all, the default homosexual rainbow flag. I'm starting out with the default symbol of the LGBTQ community, but as is the point of this video, the rainbow flag only represents one subset of the LGBTQ community and pride movement. Although this flag is specifically meant to represent those who are homosexual or strictly attracted to the same sex, it also represents the diversity of the entire LGBTQ community, which is actually quite great the more you get to know them. The rainbow flag, designed by Gilbert Baker, originally had 8 colors, but the one we know today has 6 colors, as it had since 1979. The idea of a rainbow representing the gay community has many origin stories. There was no one thing that inspired it. One of these involves the rainbow's similarities to common symbols used in the hippie movement of the 1960s. Another is that it might be a reference to the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which was sung by lesbian icon Judy Garland in the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. One claim Baker made about the rainbow flag was that it was a subtle reference to the Rolling Stones song She's a Rainbow. In addition, Baker was likely influenced by the Brotherhood flag, on which the colors red, white, brown, yellow, and black were used to represent different races. Whatever inspired the flag, the right original colors came to symbolize something specific within the LGBTQ community. Hot pink, sex. Red, life. Orange, healing. Yellow, sunlight. Green, nature. Turquoise, magic. Indigo, serenity. And violet, spirit. Even so, hot pink and turquoise were removed from the gay pride flag since those two colors were so expensive to print. There actually is a heterosexual flag, and I'm gonna talk about it now. There's no straight pride movement because we don't need one, but there's still a flag for the heterosexual community and heterosexual allies of the LGBTQ community. The straight flag is a sharp contrast to the rainbow flag, bearing black and white stripes. It can be used to denote that you yourself are heterosexual, or it could be seen as a symbol for the conservative counter-movement to the LGBTQ pride movement. The symbol for a self-proclaimed straight ally is a black and white flag with stripes from the rainbow flag, forming a letter A in the middle of the flag. Some people simply slap the ally sticker on their car or laptop to claim allyship. Others say you have to do more work, such as a formal ally training before you can use the ally flag. Whatever your sexual orientation, let me know in the comments below what you think on this matter. Now on to the flag for women who love women. The lesbian pride flag has 7 horizontal stripes, each with a different shade of pink, orange, white, or red. An older variant of this flag, however, features more red and pink where the orange stripes are on the newer one. Dark orange signifies gender nonconformity, orange signifies independence, light orange signifies community, white, unique relationships to womanhood, pink, serenity and peace, dusty pink, sex and love, and dark rose, femininity. Next up is the bisexual flag. As you might expect from a name with the word bi at the beginning, the bisexual pride flag is split horizontally down the middle with a stripe. The pink top half represents attraction to the same gender, the blue bottom half attraction to the opposite gender, and the purple stripe, which comes from a combination of the colors on the two halves, represents attraction to people of all genders, including transgender and non-binary. But more on that later. The bisexual flag was created by Michael Page not long after the rainbow flag was created as a way to draw attention to this often overlooked subcommunity by the LGBT movement. He was inspired by the bi-angles, or bisexuality triangles. Artist Liz Nania developed the bi-angles out of the purple triangles, which started as a way for the Nazis to identify one of their target groups, but has since been reclaimed as a symbol of LGBTQ liberation and safety. Next up is the bear flag. Bear is a nickname given to gay men who are either large, hairy, or both, as opposed to the stereotypical effeminate gay man. They're called that because many male secondary sex characteristics, such as body hair, facial hair, and growth of muscles, are associated with bears. Fittingly, the bear flag has a bear's paw print on the top left corner, and its stripes are of the many species of bears that exist throughout the world. There's yet an even deeper meaning behind this, of diversity within the bear community, just as the bear species is diverse in many ways, as symbolized by the colors that represent them on the bear flag. Now on to lipstick lesbian. Contrary to a popular stereotype, not all lesbians have short hair, dress like guys, and refuse to do their hair, nails, or makeup. It's very possible for a girly girl to be a lesbian. Those who fit within this category are referred to as lipstick lesbians. The flag for this subcommunity is basically the lesbian flag I discussed earlier, but with a red kiss mark in the top left corner. This isn't a particularly popular pride flag, as some say it's not inclusive of butch, transgender, or non-binary lesbians. Others simply boycott it due to a variety of controversial comments the flag's creator Natalia McCrae has made on her blog, This Lesbian Life. Now it's time for the asexual flag. This flag was created in 2010, much later than the flags I've covered so far. Once the visibility of LGBTQ people in general was taken care of, they needed to address the asexual community and the assumptions and misconceptions spreading about them, even within the LGBTQ community itself. The asexual flag has 4 horizontal stripes. The top stripe is black and represents an absence of sexual attraction. The gray stripes represents the gray area between asexuality and complete allosexuality, a topic for another video. The white stripe represents how asexual people are just as sexual in nature as any other human being, despite their lack of sexual attraction. The purple stripe at the bottom of the flag represents the asexual community as a whole. Next up, intersex. Intersex, one of the few gender identities or sexualities that can be seen as a biological construct rather than a purely social one, is represented by a yellow flag with a purple ring in the middle. Intersex Human Rights Australia Executive Director Morgan Carpenter created this flag in July 2013, intending to create a symbol of the intersex community that is, as he put it, not derivative, but is yet firmly grounded in meaning. Carpenter chose the 2 colors on the flag because he saw them as being free from gender associations, and they've historically been used to represent intersex people. The circle is described as unbroken and unornamented, symbolizing wholeness and completeness and our potentialities, by Carpenter. In 2021, the Intersex flag was incorporated into the Progress Pride version of the Rainbow Pride flag by Valentino Vecchietti of Intersex Equality Rights UK. Now on to non-binary. Non-binary people are those who don't lean close enough to one end of the gender spectrum or the other to claim simply to be either male or female. These people usually claim to be neither male nor female or both male and female and tend to prefer to be called by they/them pronouns. Kyle Rowan designed a flag with 4 horizontal stripes to represent this community in February 2014. The top stripe is yellow to represent being outside of the male-female binary. The second stripe is white to symbolize a multitude of genders. The purple stripe represents the people I just mentioned who identify as being both male and female. The black stripe at the bottom represents the other group of people I just mentioned who claim to have no gender. Now it's time for agender. Before I explain the agender flag, let's make a clear distinction. A non-binary person is one who claims to fall anywhere on the gender spectrum. Agender is a subset of this group that claims not to identify with any gender, to be neuter or neither, if you will. The flag this subset has adopted has 7 horizontal stripes. The top and bottom one's black, the second to top and second to bottom one's gray, and the middle stripe lime green. The black and white stripes represent a lack of gender, the gray stripes a semi-genderless identity, and the central green stripe non-binary genders. Next up is demigender. Here's another subset of the non-binary community. Whereas agender people claim no gender at all, a demi-boy will claim to lean a little more towards the male end of the spectrum, though not being entirely male, and a demi-girl in the female end. The demigender flag, designed by a New York artist named Salem in 2014, has 7 stripes. 2 outer stripes in gray, 2 in lighter gray, and 2 in yellow with 1 white stripe in the center. The white stripe in the middle symbolizes identifying as either no gender or a third gender. The dark gray stripes represent the gender binary, and the light gray stripes represent the gender spectrum. Demi-boy and demi-girl even have flags of their own, with the demi-boy flag having light blue 2nd and 6th stripes, and those stripes being a light pink on the demi-girl flag. Next up, pansexual. Yes, there is a difference between bisexual and pansexual, and they do need different pride flags. But it's so complex that to discuss it right now would bring us way off the topic of pride flags. So I'll save that for a whole separate video. Anyways, back to the pansexual flag. The flag, with 3 horizontal stripes, pink, yellow, and cyan from top to bottom, was first used in the 2010s by Tumblr user Jasper V. It hasn't officially been confirmed, but some sources state that the cyan represents attraction to men, pink attraction to women, and yellow attraction to non-binary people, such as those who are agender, demigender, and genderfluid. Now on to transgender. This one's probably the best known pride flag after the rainbow flag. This flag was designed in 1999, the year I was born, by American trans woman Monica Helms. It has a blue horizontal stripe on the top and bottom. The 2nd and 4th stripes are pink, and the center stripe is white. As Helms put it herself, the blue and pink represent the traditional colors used for baby boys and baby girls respectively, and white represents those who are intersex, transitioning, or consider themselves having a neutral or undefined gender. The transgender flag itself has many variants, including the Jonathan Andrew flag, the Pelenin flag, the Israeli transgender flag, the Lindsay flag, and the Kaleidoscope flag. Next up is demisexual. Simply put, demisexuality is that gray area between having sexual attraction and being asexual. I'll explain this in more detail another time, but basically, if you're demisexual, you'll only be attracted to someone after knowing them for a long time and developing a strong emotional attachment to them, as opposed to starting to lust after someone upon first encounter because of how they smell or look. As such a unique sexual orientation, of course it has its own pride flag. On the left side of the flag is a black chevron symbolizing asexuality. The gray bottom half of the flag represents gray asexuality, or the spectrum between asexuality and allosexuality on which demisexuals fall. The white top of the flag represents sexuality, and the purple stripe halfway down the flag represents community. And now for genderfluid. Hence its name, a genderfluid person doesn't have a fixed gender identity, like a cis, trans, non-binary person, demi-boy, or demi-girl. Rather, they change gender identities depending on the day, time, place, or situation, though this varies on a case-by-case basis. A gender-fluid person may fluctuate among different gender expressions over their lifetime or express multiple aspects of various gender markers simultaneously. The gender-fluid flag has 5 horizontal stripes. The top one is pink and represents femininity. The second stripe is white and represents lack of gender. The third purple stripe represents androgyny. The fourth black stripe represents absence of gender or a wide array of genders, and the bottom blue stripe represents masculinity. Of course, I haven't even come close to encompassing every sexual orientation and gender identity and their respective pride flags. But if you've made it this far and want to see a part 2, comment, "I want a part 2." Also, make sure to click the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already and you want more video essays on navigating our world's complex sociology, history, and politics, click subscribe. And don't forget to ask for notifications if you want to know when I've put up something new. While you wait, why not check out the next most recent video I've put up, or another video I've made about an important event in LGBTQ history by clicking the links on your screen. Trust me, if you think this video was worth it, those ones will be too.